Start to today's broadcast. You see the title. And I want to just go ahead and thank you so much for joining me today here at Redefining Bodybuilding. You know, we are all about helping you to take your fitness journey to the next level. And really, more importantly, look at how we can bring your physical fitness, your mental fitness, your emotional fitness, and your spiritual fitness, what I call the four pillars of fitness, to the game and help you to reach your goal, not only in the moment, but forever. One of the things that I get a lot when it comes to questions from women out there who work with me is, Roxy, how do I get and stay motivated? You know, it's so easy when you first start out to have that whatever that impetus is to change, like you get all that off, right? And you get all that just like energy to get out there and to do what you have to do. But then along the way, what happens, honey? Life happens, right? Life happens. And for whatever reason, sometimes you get thrown off, and before you know it, you've lost your mojo. You've lost that motivation to get up and do what you have to do. And nothing could be more frustrating, especially when you know you want the changes. Or if you've been on this path over and over, and this isn't your first rodeo, and here you are again on your back. So today I want to give you 3 tips to help you to not only get motivated, but to stay motivated and what you need to do right out the gate. And here's the thing. It's not just 3 tips. I'm actually going to throw in a bonus tip for you because the last tip really plays its hand in the spiritual fitness stuff that I always talk about here on the channel. And it doesn't matter what you believe, okay? You know me, I am a Christian woman, I am a Catholic woman, I'm a Jesus-believing woman, okay? But this message is for anyone. You could be Jewish, you could be Muslim, you could be an atheist, for all I care. You know, listen, just let this stuff hit you the way that it needs to, because we're going to talk about this stuff here in this channel. We're going to talk about how to redefine bodybuilding and working out in a way that nobody else is doing, all right? So on that note, let's go ahead and let's get into the conversation. So the first tip that I want you to really pay attention to when it comes to what you need to do to take your fitness higher is I want you to get to the heart of why. Why is this fitness journey important to you, honey? What are you doing all this for? Because you could be sitting on your butt doing the same damn thing you've been doing, which isn't working. So why this? And then once you explore that why, I need you to go ahead and set yourself up for success with goal setting. And there's an even further tip than that. I want you to set an 8-week goal and then a year from now goal, a 1-year goal. This question is a game changer. Why is your fitness journey important to you? Too many of you are out there flying by the seat of your pants. Too many of you are out there just like willy-nilly it, showing up and thinking that you're going to have that gumption to keep going just by your own will and fruition, right? Your own just pushing yourself. And there's something that has to come from within that's going to keep you going back to the gym or keep you with that workout, keep you with that diet. Look, this stuff isn't easy. That's why I have a business. That's why I've been in the fitness industry for over 20 years, because I help clients to figure out their why. Now, once you know that gut punching why, the next thing you need to do is have a game plan in place, honey. You just trying to willy-nilly figure it out. That ain't how it's going to work. It's not going to work. So ask yourself a long-term goal. 1 year from now, what do I want to say I've been able to accomplish when it comes to my fitness? You get that? That's going to keep you motivated for, you don't even know, for just the whole entire year. Because once you start seeing those goals achieved, what you're going to do is you're going to set new goals. You're going to step beyond. The next thing that you need to do, once you get that 1-year goal, you got to put it back down into some bite-sized pieces that you can actually stick to and accomplish, okay? And for that, I want you to focus on 8-week goals. Now, here's what I do with my clients. Every 8 weeks, we sit down and we talk about, what do you want to do? What do we know what we want to do for the entire year, but what do you want to do in the next 8 weeks to make those goals more attainable, to keep you focused on the road ahead, to keep you motivated, and to just make sure that you're doing everything that you have to do to show up for yourself. That's a game changer. You get on the phone with me, honey, guess what? That's what I'm going to ask you. Okay. So you might as well start writing that stuff down and start practicing it and seeing how it just affects you. Okay. So goal setting, really important part of the equation. Do not skip that. The next thing that I want you to do is this right over here. Tip number 2. I want you to get on an actual program. Oh, honey, winging it just doesn't work for most people. Look, some of y'all, I applaud you. I really, really and truly do. Because you think that the only thing you have to do when working out is just to show up at the gym and just pick up some weights, start doing something. I don't know, get on the treadmill, get on the bike, start eating less than you're eating now, clean it up, right? That's the basics. But if that was what really works for most people, why haven't you seen the results that you want? Why is it that you're doing all this stuff and then all of a sudden your body plateaus? What's going on? You see, program design is an art, and it's an art that I spent a lot of time studying myself, right? And so I'm going to sit here as a coach and trainer. I'm going to sit here and say, look, this stuff isn't easy. If it was easy, I wouldn't have a job. This day and age is so fantastic. And that's one of the things that COVID did for us in a good way, is that it has forced a lot of fitness professionals to come online. All right. And I've been online since 2010. Okay. My company has been an online business since then. But what I'm saying is that the resources that are available to you are abundant, that you can go ahead and get a training program that is put together by a trainer, coach, or people who have experience in getting results. So utilize that resource. There are apps out there for you to utilize as well. Or of course, you can come and work with someone like myself. You saw the link. Go ahead down to the description to set up a free call. All right. So get on a program. Winging it is not the answer. You need to have a guideline to get to the next level. Now, let's go ahead and go on to our next tip for today. The next thing that I need you to do is to stop the negative self-talk. Oh boy, this is a big one. This is a major one for a lot of you. You are your own worst enemy. The first step to success starts in your mind. Let me say that one more time. The first steps to success starts in your mind. You know, I'm really big on visualization. I'm really big on prayer, more importantly, even more than that, because what I started to find for myself is that the more I wallowed in feeling bad about my past choices, oh, I didn't do this, I should have done that, or putting myself in a point of anxiety about my future, or, oh my gosh, this is going to happen or that's going to happen. It just sends me into either depression or it sends me into anxiety. And interestingly enough, that's a Chinese proverb, and it's something that also appears in the Bible as well, in scripture, about living in the present and the importance of that, right? Fitness is a game of mind, guys. It is. It's a mindset game. And that's one of the things that I want to impart on you that I learned as a professional bodybuilder. It takes so much mental toughness and effort to compete. But the thing is that that's not just something that's for competitors. You have to have mental toughness as someone who's in the fitness game, as someone who's trying to transform your life through fitness. You've got to have that mental toughness. You've got to be able to focus. You got to be able to step up. You got to be able to follow a program. You got to be able to stay disciplined. You got to be able to stay on the diet. You got to be able to want this so bad that you can taste it. Okay? And you don't have time for negative thinking. Negative thinking will throw you off your game. You got to stay here in the present. You gotta just live in the moment. So what, last night you ate the chips. All right, get over it, move on, get back on your meal plan. All right, you missed a couple of workouts because, life took you in many directions. That's okay. How are you going to make up for that to stay active and show up for yourself anyway? Even if it means working out at home, walking around the block because you couldn't get your cardio in, whatever. What can you do to keep yourself focused instead of going into negativity? The other thing that so many of you, especially my women, but you know what, guys that watch this, I know you go through this as well. You are so judgmental of yourself. You sit, you look in the mirror, you pick out every damn flaw, and you wonder why you can't get the results that you want. Listen, you're not going to get anything positive from negative thinking. It just sends you down that rabbit hole. So you need to get out of your head. You need to move forward and stay positive. You need to show up for yourself. Put one foot in front of the other every single day and make this choice to be in the moment. Am I firing you up right now? Because if I am firing you up, listen, this is what I want you to do. I want you to share your comments. I want you to share your thoughts in the comments and stuff like that if I'm firing you up. In fact, let's go ahead and I want to take a look at our next thing, which is the question of the day. All right, question of the day. What's your biggest struggle right now when it comes to getting and staying motivated? Oh boy, that's a big one. Head down to those comments and share your thoughts, because here's the thing. For so many of you, again, the problem isn't just starting the program. The problem is staying on track with the program. The problem is showing up for yourself. So if you are someone who is dealing with that right now, put it in the comments. Let's go ahead and help each other out. You know that I might go ahead and answer your questions as well. Now, listen, if you love what I'm saying and I'm motivating you, we got one more tip that I want to go into. So don't go anywhere. All right. Because this next one is one that nobody's really talking about in the industry. But if I'm speaking to your soul right now, why don't you go ahead and contact me? Set up a clarity call. Okay. I work with both competitors and non-competitors. I've got the QR code over here as well. I work with both competitors and non-competitors. So if you're someone who wants to get into the best shape of your life, it doesn't matter if you want to step on a stage or not, come and talk to me. I have got programs for different levels, different budgets and all that stuff. So make sure that you go ahead and you check that out. Okay. Now, as I said, I got one more tip. That is one that can be really pivotal for a lot of you. And before I go into that, I just have to say again, the stuff that I share here isn't just for people who believe in Christ. It's not just for Christians. A lot of what I share is definitely influenced by my Catholicism, but everybody can take in this message, all right? And it's funny because in this life, the spiritual fitness stuff that I talk about, we are taught to compartmentalize that. Like, just to sit here and talk about spirituality and fitness, that's foreign to so many people. It's like, what are you doing, girl? But that's what makes this platform different. And that's what makes it redefining bodybuilding. All right. Because we are just taking all of that and we are turning it on its head. So the next thing that I have to share with you today, our final tip, our fourth and final tip is going to tap into that. Turn your workout into prayer. Integrating your spirituality into your fitness will motivate you beyond your wildest dreams. Oh boy, oh man. For the longest time, you guys, you didn't know about my spiritual walk. You just didn't. I didn't share it here. People that knew are my friends, my family. They've known that I've grown up in a very religious home. I grew up as a cradle Catholic, and Christianity and Christ is at the heart of everything that I do. And I did fall away from my spiritual walk for a very long time. Not completely. I've always believed in God. Don't get me wrong on that. But just the practice of my faith, right? So when I started to get back into this, it was really right after I stopped bodybuilding. I didn't know who I was, guys. I talked about that here on my channel. I felt like I lost my identity. And that's the dangerous thing about finding your identity in things, right? Finding your identity in titles. Why it's so important to find your identity outside of that. And if you are someone who is a believing person, to find your identity in Christ or whatever your basis of your spirituality is, okay? Finding your purpose and your presence in that is far greater than anything. And your fitness life, it leads into that, because when I started to realize, man, working out as prayer, physical prayer is magnificent. It just takes everything you're doing to that next level like never before. And so what I want to say to you is that the way that I have found my motivation when at times that I didn't want to, I struggled after the pandemic to get back in my workouts. I struggled to get back to my eating. I found myself just sitting around, gaining weight, drinking a lot of wine. If I can be honest with you, I cut that back out completely. We got to do another video on alcohol consumption and how this society has glorified that for women and why y'all need to stop. Y'all need to just cut that out. Okay. That's another conversation. But I was in a low point. Me, Roxy Beckles, was in a low point. Fitness has always been my life. But you know what brought me back? It was God. It was Christ. It was my walk in faith, because I was doing all of this personal development stuff. I was doing all this prayer stuff. But then I realized I spent a lot of my time talking about this very thing, God's creation, the human body. So for me, I decided to step up. I decided to just go ahead and integrate this. And so for what I have to share with you is, in order for you to really truly take your fitness to the next level, I want you to look at your prayer life. I want you to approach your training as physical prayer. When I say that, what I mean is that I want you to give thanks before you begin that workout. I want you to spend time not just meditating mindlessly, but meditating on things that feed your spirit and soul. Lectio Divina is a form of spiritual meditation, of biblical meditation, where you take a verse of the Bible and you read it and you go ahead and you just ponder upon it and you just meditate on just maybe one sentence, one line, maybe one word hits you. Put on some soft music and just get lost in that. And we have some Lectio Divina here on the channel, and also on my Catholic channel, we have some as well in the member section. That's all in the member section. So you want to actually make sure that you support this channel here and join with as a member so you can get access to some of this stuff, right? I love to do rosary prayers while I'm doing my cardio. It takes all of that up to the next level, guys. You know, the gym and your workouts can be your physical solace. The gym and your workouts can be that thing that gets you closer spiritually. But here's the thing that happens when you spiritually connect your fitness. What begins to happen is that why becomes more evident. That motivation to keep going when you feel like you're failing, when you feel like everything is falling apart, that motivation to keep going, it stays with you. So the spiritual fitness aspect of all of this is no joke. And I want you guys to just look at how you can do this better, how you can step it up, how you can bring whatever your beliefs are into your fitness game. Okay. So important in all of this, you guys. My goal here is to help you to think bigger, is to help you to think beyond. My goal here is to help you to realize that there's something greater than what you've been offering yourself mentally. There's something greater than what you've been putting out there for yourself physically when it comes to your fitness. And to be honest with you, there's so much that is untapped for you to play around with, for you to just let inspire you along the way. So here's the thing. I want you to go ahead to go down below, and I want you to add your comments. What are your thoughts on this? How did it hit you? What are the things that you're struggling with right now? Go ahead and post them below in the comments. And if you're someone who does include spiritual aspects of fitness, to your routine, how do you do that? Share that in the comments below, because I think this sparks a lot of stuff for a lot of people. Now, if you're interested in working with me, of course, that's the link for you to go ahead and get that. Check that out down below. And if you really do want to take your fitness to the next level and just really tap into getting motivated and staying motivated, I created a playlist for you, and I want you to go ahead and check it out right over here and let it just fire you up. Guys, I will see you over there. Thank you so much for joining.